Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Thursday, and all of our guests today, including Farhan Lalji, brought to you by the Vancouver Giants. The Giants would like to thank their fans for their support this season at the LEC and can't wait to welcome them back for the 2023-2024 campaign. Get your season tickets for next year now at vancouvergiants.com/season tickets. 2-0 Lions at the 2-0 Bombers today in Winnipeg, and here to talk about that and other things from TSN, Farhan Lalji. Farhan, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm good, boys. How's it going? Beautiful sunny afternoon here.
It is.
Can't wait to watch a little football tonight in Winnipeg.
Yeah. Before we get to that, what was your opinion of the show the Lions put on and off the field last Saturday at BC Place?
I thought it was really good. Wow, I can't imagine one guy could sweat as much as LL Cool J did in a 45-minute concert, right? Like just dripping off him. Dollywall does not work that hard on one of these shows, right? Like, I mean, he doesn't work up a sweat at all. And you saw what
no
you
kidding.
saw what Mr.
Easy there, pal. Easy.
It was a good show. You know, took me back to the days when we were all younger, right? Like I thought, okay, rapper, LL Cool J, this is going to be great. And Luke looks at me, and my 14-year-old says, "Who's that, Dad?"
Oh, yeah.
And then he kind of had heard the name before, but honestly, like people who were there, young and old, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good show.
Farhan, you're delving into Dollywall territory. You told us that same story last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is really dangerous. You should be
fresh
sweating
material,
right now.
please. Fresh material.
I'm 55 now. I get old. I'm getting older.
Hey, listen,
I can say I'm 10 years younger than you, but I said that.
Okay, stop it. Okay. Hey, what sticks out when you look at today's matchup? 2-0 versus 2-0 Lions in Winnipeg.
Yeah, I think the Winnipeg offense versus the BC defense matchup is going to be pretty fun, isn't it? Right? I mean, you've got Zach Caleros and company that are operating at this incredibly high level right now offensively. For a team to hit the ground running the way they have to start the regular season has been remarkable. And they had a number of key guys that were kind of in and out, right? Like Dalton Schoen didn't practice a bunch in camp. And, the Kenny Lawler incident happened where, he's now not able to play for a bit of time here. So it's been interesting to see just them be themselves and just be consistent. And then BC, I know people are going to say, well, look who they played the first two games, but a shutout in the CFL is difficult no matter how you slice it. And Edmonton didn't even get a sniff of the red zone and even getting close to a touchdown. So seeing the way BC completely dominated that game, the number of players that are contributing defensively, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch and a real big test. And I know that BC has taken a completely different approach because last year when these two teams were unbeaten and we were talking about Nathan Rourke and then Winnipeg came into BC on a short week and really did a number on the Lions. So much was made of that game. I think Rick Campbell's trying to take a different approach to this one, but it still is, whether they like it or not, it's a pretty good measuring stick for week 3.
Well, one of the biggest the positives about the Lions is their receiving corps, but they're going to miss Rhymes big time.
Yeah, Rhymes has really become a security blanket for Vernon Adams, and Adams has just talked about how important he is to him and just the length that he possesses and that ability to go up and win 50-50 balls, especially with the team not having Brian Burnham this year, right? Like, you need that in this league, and they haven't. So to lose him is tough, but, they've got Lucky Whitehead returning this week, so that's certainly going to help them a little bit. And, I think the Lions, and they're not just their personnel department, but their coaching staff, has shown a pretty good level of resiliency and adaptability, because I talk about Winnipeg at the start about how they've been able to plug and play guys. I think BC's shown an ability to do that, right? I mean, with Keon Hatcher a year ago, and he hasn't been able to play this year. He'll probably play next week. He was able to plug into a number of different spots, and then Alex Holland has been able to plug into different spots. And, you've got other guys that are able to do that. So losing Rhymes is going to be tough, but I think they've been able to integrate some players pretty well, and getting Lucky back this week is going to help. And Winnipeg's pretty young on the back end, and they've got some changes and players not available tonight as well. So, if BC's offense can find some success there, they might be able to get some success in the secondary if they can give Vernon Adams time to throw.
We got a chance to talk to Pat. Well, we didn't, but the rest of the media got a chance to talk to Patrik Allvin yesterday. What stuck out for you in the Allvin news conference?
Well, I was interested to hear him talk about the process they went through regarding Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And I think, Rick, you and I kind of agree that it felt like there was no other choice in the end, that as much as ownership and management was bullish on not doing that, not executing a buyout, that they really had no choice. But I think 2 or 3 times in that availability, Allvin referred to Ekman-Larsson's performance. And, that surprised me a little bit. Like, he's not wrong. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't think he would necessarily go down that road. But it does show that this organization is not going to, turn a blind eye or try to apologize or justify certain things. They'll just, they'll do what they need to do and make hard decisions. And that's a tough decision, right? It's tough for, ownership to write the check. It's tough for the organization to admit that level of failure, even though it was a different group that brought them in. But, I was glad to see them being pretty direct. And then the Tanner Pearson thing, right? I mean, you're as close to that situation as anybody. For them to say that they are, I don't have the exact words, but I think it was, we are preparing for Tanner Pearson to be a training camper. He's preparing to be a training camp. I was surprised that they went that far with that.
Yeah, I was too.
Man, I tell you, Farhan, I'm impressed. There was a little technical hiccup there, and the right arm shot out, and you dealt with it so quickly. What a pro you are!
It was my wife. It was my wife calling, and I forgot to turn off the phone thing. And,
Unreal.
And then just hit the button to send her to voicemail, right? I mean, isn't that what we all do at this time of the day?
Easy now. Don't get
wife calls. Wait. We're listening to Donnie and Dolly. We're watching these guys. We can't talk to you right now.
Don't get yourself in trouble. That makes up for repeating the same story from last week. Hey, do you understand?
My 19th wedding anniversary is on Sunday. You know what we're doing? We're going to be driving back from football camp in Idaho. So nothing can put me deeper into the doghouse than that, guys.
I'm sure you'll have a good time.
Wow.
Hey, you were around when Alex Mogilny was in Vancouver. He gets snubbed yesterday. Is he going to get into the Hockey Hall of Fame? There's the whole Russian issue and all of that.
Yeah, look, I think it's inevitable that it's going to happen. Disappointed to see it not happen. When you look at who's in and the case to be made for Mogilny and what he was able to accomplish, he should have been in the Hall a few years ago, right? Yeah. So, and there were a few others that got snubbed, Kachuk and Brindamore and a few other names their time is going to come. It's just a matter of when. So, it's interesting because early in his year, like he was such a trailblazer, right? Like not coming here as part of a newly negotiated settlement, but he defected, right? And he made a clean break, and that made him a really polarizing figure and just a mystery man early in his career. And then eventually he became every bit the North American. And, we all talk about Almo during his contract years and just how good he was at that point. And certainly the time he had in Vancouver. I wish we would have been able to see peak Mogilny and peak Bure at the same time here. And I'm not sure that ever really happened, right? We had the 1 year where we thought it was going to, and it didn't turn out that way because of injuries. But, long overdue, and I think it's coming.
All right, Farhan, we'll look forward to the third go-round with that story about your kid and LL Cool J next week. So.
Yeah. And you know what? When, we'll
You're dumbfounded.
The Grey Cup, buddy.
You're rattled. You're rattled.
That's what I was looking for.
You're rattled.
Yeah.
This has never happened before. Farhan, I'm lost for words.
I was thinking about Hitch, and then all of a sudden I lost it. And I'm like, oh, shoot, what was I just talking about? And I was thinking about you talking to Hitch about the CFL. Are you guys going to do that?
No.
Well, his connection to the CFL being...
Well, there isn't one, but you were talking to me about the Hall of Fame, and I know that he's coming on. You might as well talk to Hitch about the CFL. Good Canadian guy, spent time in Kamloops. He'll know all about he'll know everything. So talk to him about Winnipeg, BC.
I'll write it down.
Cool J. LL Cool J.
I'll write it down. Wow. Good luck in Idaho. Thanks for this, Farhan. Appreciate it.